Leonard Hilario from the Triple E Institute.
Good afternoon, everyone. Doing science and engineering is a very stressful thing. So at some point, it's going to be the hobby. Now, for me, that hobby is astronomy, also science related, and at times, oftentimes, you'd actually find me somewhere there near chemistry, looking at the stars. Now, it was during those instances that I met the next BPI DOST awardee. So back then, 2014, he was an applicant. I was there watching the stars. And needless to say, if you remember, after 1.5 years, he became the overall coordinator. That's the president equivalent. Now, during his stint as an OC, that's what they call the president, the OC, he headed High School Astronomy Convention and a grand celebration of National Astronomy Week. And after that, hindi siya pagod, he volunteered as a student assistant of the Philippine Microsatellite Program. And doing all those things while maintaining a general weight average would qualify him as magna cum laude. And finish his degree 1 semester less at the prescribed time. And as if hindi pa enough yun, in the recently concluded electronics engineering exam, he ranked 9. Friends, colleagues in the faculty, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Orville Felicano.
Thank you, Sir Anchong, for that very kind introduction. Again, I'm Orville, and my project is entitled Performance of a Stereolithography Setup with a Programmable Mask. To start off my presentation, first we have to ask the question, or answer the question, what is stereolithography? So stereolithography, it is an additive manufacturing method. Additive manufacturing, or AM, is more commonly known today as 3D printing. And it uses light to induce the conversion of liquid resin to solid photopolymer. Now, stereolithographic setups may be gauged, their performance may be gauged in terms of speed, resolution, and complexity. So, these are the 3 attributes that I want to find out for my setup. To further explain stereolithography, let's consider a liquid photopolymer as shown inside the container. What's special about this liquid is that when I shine light upon it, it induces the conversion from liquid to solid resin. So we get a solid cylindrical structure right there since since it is inside a since it is inside a cylindrical container. Now, consider again the same special liquid, but this time, before shining light upon it, I place a mask between the light and the photopolymer, the liquid photopolymer. This mask has a square hole on it, and so there are parts where light shines upon the liquid photopolymer, and there are parts where it is shadowed by the mask. Therefore, the parts where light is incident on the liquid photopolymer, they solidify, and the other parts remain liquid. So if I wash away those liquid parts, I am left with the square structure right there. So if I stack many of those squared structures in varying sizes, I can get seemingly 3-dimensional structure. So that is essentially my project. My project consists of 4 parts: the light source and the light delivery system, the scanning mechanism, all controlled or signaled by the control mechanism. Let us discuss the first two, the light source and the light delivery system. Traditional stereolithographic setups use mirrors that scan a focused beam or laser across the resin, across the parts of the resin which are to be cured. This requires high level of instrumentation, making the setup more complex. On the other hand, the innovative method is to use a lamp to project the light and then a digital micromirror device to project light on the parts of the photopolymer which needs to be cured. So remember the 3 performance factors that I described earlier: complexity, resolution, and speed. In terms of resolution, the traditional method yields a much higher resolution. But in terms of speed and complexity, the innovative method yields a faster process and a simpler setup, which means a cheaper setup since it's much simpler. So my project delves on the innovative method. I used a DLP projector instead of a lamp or LED. The last 2 parts is the scanning and control mechanism. On the heart of it is the Raspberry Pi, which is a mini computer that I programmed. The Raspberry Pi signals the stepper motor driver, which drives the stepper motor, which elevates or depresses this actual build platform, which makes this the layer by layer magic, which makes the 2D pattern into 3D structures. Combining all of those, this is the stereolithographic setup that I used. Again, that's the DLP projector, a 75mm aperture lens, a telescopic arm, the 550mm lenses, and then the build platform for here is a microscope slide. Okay. Now this is my setup. I want to make sure, I want to know the limits of my setup. I want to know how small can it go, or how small the objects are. So to further discuss that, let's compare it with film photography. In film photography, we alter the shutter speed and the aperture to produce crisp images. In stereolithography, we alter the exposure time and the light intensity to produce crisp and accurate structures. In film photography, if we expose something too long, we get overexposed images. If we expose it too short, we get underexposed images. So we want to get into that Goldilocks zone that we call for the stereolithographic setup. And indeed, the results of my setup showed that I need a minimum exposure time of 60 seconds to produce crisp and accurate structure. And in the design, I should have widths with a minimum of 12 pixels, a separation distance to make sure that what is separated in the design is still separated in the 3-dimensional structures, and that is 64 pixels, and the depth of field, or the layer by layer distance, which is 2 millimeters. What's interesting about my characterization is in this image, this shows that I can produce structures as small as 10 micrometers. To give you an idea, our hair, human hair, the width of our hair is about 100 micrometers. So I can produce structures the 10th of the width of our hair. So I have now characterized my setup. It's time to produce 3-dimensional structures. First, the structures are modeled in software, and then using a slicing tool, I want to get the layer by layer images of the 3-dimensional pattern. So the layers are derived from the model, and then the control mechanism, or the Raspberry Pi, loads the layers into the projector, and light is redirected through the optical system. The control mechanism signals the actual platform for the 3D layer by layer printing. And finally, the 3D structures are fabricated. The scale bar shows a 200 micrometer, and this micropyramid is about 1 millimeter in size. What's interesting about my project is that I can scale it up into the centimeter scale. So my advisor and I found a photo in Facebook of the Banawe rice terraces, a top view photo. So we downloaded it, and he made the layer by layer images of that. So this is the layered 3D model image, and this is the layer by layer. That's 12 layers in total. And when we fabricated it, shows something like that. 5 millimeters naman, instead of the 200 micrometer. So as you can see, it conforms with the fabricated structure, still conforms with the pattern in the model pattern. So you might be asking, why am I doing this? Well, the UN adopted a resolution regarding Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. And of those 17 goals, my project can directly affect 8 of these SDGs. Let me go through some of them. First, OSL and resiliency. My project may be used in urban planning, for it provides accurate and detailed modeling, which may be used in planning of buildings and cities and for modeling terrains, as confirmed by what we did with the Banawe rice terraces image. And it can be also applied in medicine, and particular the biomedical engineering. This shows a microfluidic device which may be used for lab-on-a-chip devices. Lab-on-a-chip devices gives you point-of-care diagnosis. For example, you have a doctor to the barrio, and then the doctor goes to the barrio, performs, gets samples, and then right then and there, he can give point-of-care diagnosis. He can go, he doesn't need to go back to the city and bring the samples there and then go back to the barrio. Right then and there, you have a lab on your briefcase. So that's one of the possible applications of my project. Furthermore, as a form of additive manufacturing or 3D printing, well, it has sped up the design process from conception of an idea to the fabrication of an actual product, and is thus used for rapid prototyping. It is even dubbed as the leader of the third industrial revolution, according to The Economist. Lastly, for marketability, in the Philippine market, 3D printing industry is limited to service providers only. Right now, no company manufactures 3D printers inside the Philippines. And from Roller's report, we can see that the global market for 3D printing increases on about 25.9% annually. In summary, optical stereolithography is a form of 3D printing. My setup can produce structures from as small as the centimeter scale to even smaller as to the micrometer scales. And its application include modeling, medicine, rapid prototyping, and many more. I want to leave you with this quote from A.T. Kearney. The question is not if, but when companies need to consider 3D printing. To end, let me thank the people who made this research possible, the OVCRD of UP Diliman and OVPAA, the Visor SM through Professor Tabang, thanks sir, the Instrumentation Physics Laboratory of the NIP through Dr. Chambag Bantang, also Dr. Pedraza and Drs. Franz and Tess De Leon of the EEI, and the following people for making it possible for me to become the BPI DOST Science Awardee. Thank you so much.